charts on fire, red and green like a funeral pyre. Discord screaming LFG, but my portfolio's haunting me. Spiked my coffee with regret. Last night I longed to break out bet. Now I'm broke, not broken yet. Just one more pump I won't forget. Buy high, die huddling. The 10 brain dopamine's controlling. Ride the whale or get wrecked clean. This crypto dream's a guillotine. Fake guru with 1,000 subs showed me coins in shady clubs. Promised moons, Lambos and jets. Now I'm left with JPEGs and debts. Scalped my soul in a 5-minute chart. Market dumped and it ripped my heart. But I'll reload, I'll play to win. Even if I lose it all again. Buy high, die huddling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. Almost gone, greed's the king. This crypto dream's a punk rock thing. In the glass, risk it all, no brakes, full gas. Liquidation, call me sweet. Whisper, welcome to defeat. No stop loss, no regrets. Code and chaos, no safety nets. Satoshi's ghost in my DMs told me to ape again and again. Buy high, die huddling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. If I crash, at least I tried. In this wild west of blockchain rise. I'll be trading till the lights go out. Shots of noise, but I live for the sound. One candle spike, and I'm back in town. Crypto's a fight, and I'm 10 toes down. Diamond hands with the crack in the glass. Risk it all, no brakes, full gas. But I'll reload, I play to win. Even if I lose it all again.
What's up, guys? How's it going? It was a mission today just to get my internet working. I was hit by a DDoS attack. So the internet provider shut down my internet until I fixed it. I was like, oh, thanks, guys. But yeah, that was fun. What's up, Coma? How you doing, man? Sterling. How's it going, Sterling? Got Constantine. Blue Stare Effect. How you guys doing? Been a pretty, it was alright. For trading this morning, we got a couple setups that we can prepare for. So basically, let's just go through it together here. So right now I'm looking at the 5-minute time frame, but I'm going to go into the 3-minute for a second and dissect a few things that just occurred. We had our 15-minute open range created here. And it has so far already helped serve a purpose for helping for like short-term scalps. We had, let's see here. We hit our head off the open range just after we created it around here. And in confluence with that, we had a 30-minute order block, downtrending momentum. It helped drive the price down. We came up, retested the VWAP. But now, when we got that lower low, we SFP'd. Giving us a target of this neckline, and then we got the change of character after we met the neckline to then be very cautious right where we are, right? Because the same thing could occur. We could come up into the supply, hit our head off this downtrending momentum with the confluence of this open range 15 acting as resistance, and we could get the sweep of this high and give us a bearish SFP, which would give us a target of this low again. At least on the 3-minute, that would be our target. So we can see if maybe during this live we can get that short. Now we can mark our wick level high. There we go. So what we need to see have happen for this short to occur is basically price action come up, get above this wick, but close below it. And preferably if we close, below the candle body range after we sweep that level, and that candle body to close back inside the open, the OR15 here. And on the way down, we would have to watch this order block and the VWAP as a barrier, but you can ultimately target these lows. We'll see if we get that during the live. Let's see what happens. If we close above this, then it kind of invalidates that idea altogether. A 5 minute and a 3 minute are pretty close. Same kind of picture. One of my alarms just went off. Sorry if that scared you. Local final boss ahead. Yeah. Can we take a look at pump? Yeah, we could do that. Attacked with a shovel. There we go. Okay, let's see what happens. We got 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on this candle. See if we get the break of structure. Right now it looks pretty strong, so we might get the break of structure instead of the sweep. Yeah, it looks really strong. Our next little area of confluence for shorts is right here. This wick level high. The 2.5 deviation level of the VWAP is aligned with that area as well. Let's see. Oh, we might get the SFP. Let's trade Bitcoin. You need to hit your minimum volume on extended. Yeah. Are you using a prop fund account? Coma, you took the 15-minute SFP. There was a good one over here. You talking about that one? That SFP sweep, this high, short, downtrending momentum. I think that was the second touch. Yeah, second touch point. So we weren't monitoring momentum at that time, but yeah, good sweep, man. That technical target was here. We ended up hitting that target. You could have held. If you didn't, understandable. That was really good risk to reward ratio to that setup. Then we ended up coming down, sweeping this low. Yeah, we might get another 15-minute SFP here too, because we did have the proper pullback. So if you want to be patient and wait for the 15-minute, you can. The 5 and the 3 are definitely close beforehand. I probably won't trust the 3-minute SFP just because of how it's going to close. If we closed, below this body, I'll be happy. I'd take it right away. But I'm just not trusting this 3-minute sweep because of, we're above the open range 15 now. So I'm hoping that if we get the 5-minute or the 15-minute, that candle closes back inside the R15 here. So we can have that additional confluence to help drive the price down. But yeah, we did get the 3-minute SFP. If you took the 3-minute, you're a little brave, but yeah, your stop loss is going to be here. Your target is technically way down here. But I'd be a little grounded on this one and target the VWAP in hopes that we continue past that point. So I'd manage your risk appropriately, like based on this being your target. How's the 5 minute looking? 1 minute left on the 5. Make sure I'm logged to Blowfin. Yep, I'm in Blowfin. I'm gonna get my risk ready for the wick high. So I'm gonna set up my short in case I decide I want to execute it. There we go. Risk for the short setup. We have a stop loss guard that, depending on where you enter, it's about 0.2%, 28%. You could use like 30x leverage on that safely. Let's see if we get how this is doing. Yeah, I already said I didn't trust the 3. Let's see if we get the 5 to close right. Oh, the Klein's, no, they have the 5 closed. That's an SFP. 15. Yeah, we want to be back inside that open range. Nine minutes left on the 15-minute candle. Oh, you can do it. Yeah, all the order blocks here have been mitigated from this sweep. And we'll have a multi-time frame target of that low, like the 3 to the 5, the 15. Because we didn't have any proper pullbacks along the way up. Eight minutes left on the 15-minute candle. We got the chat. So yeah, we'll look at pump JDR things. We're just taking this trade might work out. So I'm just waiting for the confirmation on the 15 here. What's up, French Toaster? How you doing, man? Oh, you said the recent one, long. Okay, so you took the recent long position. Maybe this internal sweep is what you're talking about. So I don't think this counts as a SFP coma if you're talking about this. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at this candle here, this is the mother candle, and we had an internal pullback, where inside bar pullback. So these aren't healthy, proper pullbacks on, at least not in this time frame, because of the mother candle here. But either way, it worked out, so who cares? We got the 5-minute SFP sweep too. That one's technically valid. And 15-minute order block created, or 5-minute order block created during that sweep. What's the 15-minute looking like here for this high? 6 minutes left. Yeah, super close to confirming. Yeah, our technical is here. Just be super cautious here once we get it. Yeah, low time frame. And trying to hold support off that open. Yeah, the R15 there. 15-minute orb. We got Solana testing the VWAP from below. Yeah, so Solana's looking like it could be prepared for a bearish drop too, but its positioning right now is bullish. Like we get that doji reaction off of the VWAP. When we close above it, we'll get ourselves a bullish order block. And we could watch our head off this sweep of this high in confluence with the downtrending momentum for Solana with this supply right here that hasn't really been, well, it's basically been fully mitigated from this wick. Could have liquidity resting above that. That could drive the price down too. So I'll just be careful on Solana. Could hit our head here. Bitcoin. How are we doing on the 15-minute? 4 minutes left. It's kind of teeter-totting, yeah, between break of structure and SFP here. Might ramp up my leverage a little bit. 35x. Confirm. Just because I want to just reduce my margin. Three minutes. Being above the open, 15-minute orbit's a little scary. So if you want to take the safe route, we can wait for the 15-minute SFP and then wait for the following like low time frame candle to at least close in the open range. It will sacrifice some of your gains, but in exchange for security, just to make sure things work out. Maybe even better if this 15-minute SFP just closed right inside the 15-minute orb there. You've now been looking all weekend for a drop to 82K. Well, yeah, for a drop to there, you don't really have to ask for much. There's a couple things that need to happen. The good thing is, if you want to go down to 82K, we are building kind of that head and shoulders posture with the ascending support level. I know it's kind of tough to see. Let me just, I got the VWAP going on here. So there's the shoulder, head, right shoulder, ascending support, right? The big key level that we got to watch though is this low right here. This low is flush with the previous value high. From here, if we close below that, we get acceptance into that range, we could fall right down to 82.3. We do have quite a bit of confluence right here at 84.5 though. That could actually be a pretty decent barrier. We get that previous point of control. Eva was saying that we have a daily naked point of control here, but we also have like that previous range point of control as well. We have an order block here for the hourly time frame. If I go to the hourly, you can see it. So yeah, if we get a close below here, we have a high probability of chance of a rotate to the opposite side of the value area, but we have to be very cautious right here. Because when we get there, it could induce a bounce first to return back up. We just got one little boss here that we'd have to fight along the way down. It could do something as small as just induce a bounce to retest the value area high and then come down. But we still gotta watch it. Alright, that 15-minute candle closes in 18 seconds, guys. It looks like it's about to close inside the range. Go to the 5 minutes. So the 5 minute will close simultaneously with the 15. So we can see how this closes up close. Alright, we got a 5 minute bearish order block created. I got my alarm going off, sorry. So let's see. You could take the short if you'd like. 5 minute orb on your face. Help guarding your capital. We just mitigated it now. But we didn't really close inside the orb. So it's just a matter of like whether or not you want to wait for that safety, right? Because we'll still have the risk to reward ratio to the technical target. But you might be closing at just barely below a 1 to 2 at the VWAP if we see any issues there. Yeah, like 1 to 1. I'll take the short. I'm going in. My stop loss is just above the high. But I'm going to be reactional around this VWAP because we have this neckline here. Neckline and VWAP right here. Alright, so I'm in. It's a little risky because we didn't wait for the close into the OR15 though. So if you go in, just know you're going in on that risk. It could be a little safer, just wait for that close. You can give your stop loss a little bit more breathing room. There's this deviation rule that you could use to bring up your win rate by about, say, close to 12%. 50% deviation of the wick for the stop loss. So you can use like 87.9 to prevent to decrease your chance of getting swept out and then down. Like that much breathing room. And our back testing has increased our win rate by about 12%. What's up, Steve? How you doing, man? Dot seems dead. How could it ever recover? Well, since we're already in, we can take a look at Dot. So DOT, and we'll look at pump. I got it on my other monitor open here, so I can keep track of what's going on with BTC. Looks like the last time we were looking at Dot, we were really hopeful for a break of this neckline for a move up from its double bottom, descending broadening wedge. That doesn't look like we got it. Let's zoom out. Let's go with the hourly. It's a 4 hour. Dot's at 229. Jeez. Yeah, this thing is just getting further and further away from its macro value area. We just came up and we tested it as resistance. We zoom out in the macro of this thing. Yeah, Dot, yeah, just use a really important value area as resistance. It was like 1,200 day value area. can draw momentum from this high to these highs here. We got evolving momentum here. It just looks like the pace of the sellers keeps accelerating on DOT right now. Yeah, locally DOT is looking a little bullish, bouncing off the valley area low. We did just sweep this high, similar to Bitcoin, where we swept the recent high. Its positioning is pretty bullish though. Oh, 1 second. Yeah, its positioning is pretty bullish, being above its neckline, the point of control. Oh, why do I keep doing this? I keep pressing the 4 button instead of delete. There we go. So our next stop, 231.7. So we prepare for a sweep, or hit our head off this area. We had supply that helped induce these two pullbacks right here. Bitcoin's getting a retest off the orb. If we get that higher high, then we'll get stuffed out. So for DOT, just be a little cautious when we get back up to here. Could sweep this local high, get a bearish change of character, and then we'd have to watch aim for the value area low again, but watch the point of control along the way. If we end up closing above these highs, use them as support. And we do have a little supply right here, but our next spot that I'll be careful around is the value area high at 235. Let's get my magnet tool turned off here. All right, I just got stopped out in Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, we got the bounce off the OR15. So I should have waited until we closed inside there. I'm getting to the top of the supply here. Start to see divergence. I think now that we're up here, we could actually come up towards this wick level high, 88.2. Let's see, but if we get the close inside this area, we can jump. I can jump right back in because it will get that bearish change of character in confluence with closing inside the OR15 and use the strong high as a stop loss guard. Good morning, Kyle. Always nice to catch your live stream. What's up, man? It feels like we're gonna want to push higher. Yeah. When we held this as support, get the higher high, break structure continuation. So in order for us to want to short, we get this sweep off this, VWAP multiplier deviation of 2.5. You got the sweep of this high. That could be our next level to watch out for. Or the bearish change of character into the OR15 would be preferable. Have decent confluence there. Watch the VWAP along the way. But a change of character, I'll be targeting. Well, we try to trade within the rules of the structure here. So the 15-minute strong low. would be where I would be targeting if we got that change character. Let me delete this. I'm going to mark this level here. Alright, let's pull up pump. I don't think we have a pump chart. No, we don't. Okay. So while we're waiting on Bitcoin, I'm looking at Bitcoin on my other monitor just to see if we can get that change character short play. Let's see. Yeah, pump, right? Yeah, pump right now it's fighting against the VWAP. Last time we looked at pump, we were talking about this supply concern here. Looks like we hit our head off of it for coming down. Oh, we had a chalk level set here for our shorts. I can delete some of this. What's a 30-minute look like? Okay. So I'm just gonna mark 30-minute order block. I just barely front run it before. So yeah, pump comes down to this key area here at 0.00267. Prepare for sweep of the liquidity from these lows and potential bounce if you get the bullish change of character in like the lower time frames. Establishing a decent value area right now. Pull a fixed range volume profile from here to here. We can update this. We mitigated supply, but we did create a 30-minute order block above us. We just recently had a 30-minute SFP, and that SFP target was already hit, was right here. We extended a little bit below that and hit the point of control. Send it back. We can delete this. And let's update our VWAP so it's not showing the multiplier. It's a little bit cleaner. We got an apex point between the uptrending momentum and this order block here. So it looks like we can get squeezed into a short soon here for pump. So we're ping pong our way through here and then get the bearish change of character, then start coming down and target these lows. And we got the valley area low here, 30-minute order block here, liquidity resting from this rounded bottom. So we just got to watch this area cautiously. That could induce a bounce. So yeah, your first little boss in your short that you're gonna have to watch. It's gonna begin, right around here, these little wick lows. But internally inside that 30-minute order block, you get that liquidity and the previous valley area, or the valley area low. I hope that helps you out. But that's pump locally. Go back to Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin's close to giving us that bearish change of character. That's the wrong chart. There we go. Yeah, so I'd set your alarms for when we test this area, or a pre-alarm just before it. Hopefully we get the break during my live. While you're live, let's chill, invest, share. Where can we get our referral for our friends and family for the Black Friday coupon? Yeah, so if you're... Oh, we just breached below there for a second. If you're looking for your referral link, when you log in, you should see what's called your affiliate dashboard. It'll show you how much money you've made, like referring people to InvestiShare. It'll show you how much money you've made in the past, when your payouts were, all that stuff. But your link will also be there. We offer 50% commission, so and that's reoccurring. So every time someone pays their membership, you are going to receive 50% of that membership. So yeah, man, it's just a matter of just logging into InvestiShare. If you don't see it, then let me know. You might need to be activated as an affiliate, but I do believe I have you set up there, man. I could double check for you. I got Argus on, turned on my chart here. So you might see this weird yellow wick, even though the actual candle wick is right here. And Argus, what it allows me to do is it allows me to see if certain levels have been swept on other exchanges. So then we've got yellow here. Yellow is Binance. Blue is BitGet. So we can see that on Binance, we swept this low. So that means we got an SFP on Binance, but we don't have it on Bybit. So that tells us that the price action actually could be coming to go up to this high right here, based on the SFP technical target. So that might delay this drop. But the picture that we're painting, we have an order block here. We could come up, hit our head off the order block, and then build a low time frame head and shoulders based on what we know, right? SFP targeting high, high has order block cause rejection. All right, and I got you pulled up here. What's up, Alexo Crypto? How you doing, man? Got a party in the house. Okay, bro, can you drop the price down? I'll just sell all my Bitcoin. What indicator are you using that shows the wick of different exchanges? I'm using Argus. So you can choose your exchange or the pair that's going to reflect the overlay with. But yeah, Argus, unfortunately, it's not a free indicator, but it is a indicator that comes with 5 or 6 indicators, not just one. It's from 11x. I do get you guys a 10% discount to anything from 11x. So there's a link down below if you want to get access to it. But there are 11x just makes things extremely convenient for traders. The good news is everything that you can get from most of those kind of indicators, you can map it out yourself. For example, it's painting this one of the indicators is also painting this order block, but you can, once you know what an order block looks like, you could see them everywhere. And it also does the break of structure and change of character lines for me, all that stuff. Same thing though, you can learn that. Knowledge is free. But the Argus part, like that's difficult. You would have to have like 3 charts open like this, right? And then look at multiple exchanges and seeing how their lows and highs are reacting. And that's really not very practical. So like, if you're an SFP trader, then I would definitely recommend Argus. Because splitting your charts like that just to see if certain lows have been swept on certain exchanges is tedious. Super tedious. Scene's music saying ETH is getting ready for a pump. I'm a little worried about it being a fake out, but you never know. We might be having. I haven't looked at Bitcoin dominance today. Bitcoin dominance is up right now, so it's got most attention. Okay. All right. So yeah, the last time I looked at Ethereum, we're looking at this change of character right here and targeting the high from the falling wedge behavior. Like the falling wedge liquidity behavior, basically, right? We're mindful of this key level here where liquidity above this supply zone. It did induce a little bit of a struggle, but we ended up hitting the target eventually. We can delete this stuff now. We don't really need it. It's not going to help us anymore. We have our uptrending momentum here. We can delete this, delete that. We can mark this is a whole valley area from here to here. And we have a new one using this valley area high as support from here to here. While trying to get acceptance into a macro one. I'm just going to mark this level over here to our left. And this impulse move down, basic consolidation, another impulse move down, warning us that there could be residual sell orders here. So we're going to mark that area with a rectangle, this high to this low, send it to back, make sure that you can see the price action when it gets into there. Get right to the wick from the low for retest, and wick to the high for sweeps. All right, and we're going to scroll to the right, see how we performed against it. So far, we hit our head off it twice. And right now, we're kind of getting the same kind of scenario. We have this uptrending momentum here. The pace of the buyers sped up a little bit after testing this more macro momentum. We zoom in on the 3-minute. We could see that we have a ascending double top with a proper pullback for the neckline. So this is uptrending. This is downtrending. So we have bearish divergence, but it's not drawing it for some reason on my indicator. But we got that change of character. So we flip bearish during this moment on the 3-minute. And we got that, the VWAP and the point of control in confluence with each other here. So I can see it's definitely inducing a bounce. Oh, let me take a look at Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin. I just want to make sure I'm not missing out on this move here. So, yeah, Ethereum looks like it's leading the drop, coming towards the point of control, and VWAP, we could get a bounce from here. We took these highs. We got this supply taken. Okay. Let's see if we get the bounce and the higher high. If we do, then I'm hoping that we can get this high is taken for us to come back down from there. All right, we got the close inside the OR15. We got the bearish change of character on the 3-minute. Oh no, we did. Okay, we did. This actually might be a inside bar scenario. On this pullback. Ethereum, are you bouncing off that? No? Okay. And Doji, yeah, we might get that bearish order block print on DOT. Yeah, tweezer reaction's pretty strong. Can we check on SUI? Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we looked at Ethereum, we looked at Pump. Let's pull up SUI here. We do have a SUI chart. And these were my key levels before. We were watching for shorts. We broke right through that one. We got above the downtrend momentum on SUI. Let's see, zoom out. Yeah, descending broadening wedge break from here. Right, the technical target is this high right here. We can delete our little supply concerns. They've been mitigated. Pull a fixed range. Switch to 30-minute. Got 30-minute order block here. Just below the value area low. That was mitigated. Got a 15-minute order block at the value area high. So we just broke the double bottom neckline. Just testing the downtrending momentum in confluence with the VWAP right now, though. In order for us to get that potential rotation to the value area high, I would like to see a break of this momentum, get a close above the VWAP. We might be coming down right now to test this neckline, maybe even the 30-minute order block to induce a bounce. And if we get that break of structure for the continuation, then we'll be targeting the value area high at 156. I'll go down to the 3-minute for a second. Just want to see how the picture's being painted lower time frame here. We took that low, right? Yeah. Just want to pull up my Decent bounce so far. Jeez. Yeah, so ultimately I'm bullish on SUI based on its positioning. You know, being at a value area low, breaking down trending macro momentum with a decently strong target towards the upside around. Yeah, so the macro technical target is way up here at. I'll just be targeting the supply honestly at 173. I don't know. I have two of these levels. We got 173 for a more macro move up. Locally, in the short term, if you look for a scalp move, it's just a matter of, yeah, we got the break already, right? So if we want to, you can jump in on the retracement, potentially down to the 30-minute order block, or you can jump on the break of structure confirmation move, getting above this VWAP, but ultimately targeting this high while being mindful of this point of control. If we get above, pretty much where our pullback started, we have a volume shelf here. So if we close inside this volume gap, we should move relatively quickly to the point of control. Based on recent price action behavior, we create this volume gap here, and price action moves quickly between it. So you can see how we move, you know, quickly down, quickly back up, down, rushed right through it here. Use the volume shelf as resistance here, and quickly through here. So if we get that close again, break a structure above the VWAP, we should have a move quickly to the point of control again. I hope that helps you out. Bless Sui. I come right back up, eh? What an aggressive tweezer reaction. Picture perfect too, like it's, other than its placement. If its placement was anywhere else, I would have taken that. Like tweezer reactions at like a value area low, or like a bearish tweezer reaction at a value area high, they tend to be extremely good. Coma, snow is here. Just need 50,000 lights. Yeah. How's Christmas decorations going? I always kind of dread Christmas decorations, putting them up. I don't know what it is, but when it comes to Halloween, I'm always in a rush to get that stuff out. But yeah, yeah, we got these like couple of like white Christmas trees in our front sunroom. It's just to welcome people in, but we don't have anything inside set up. Oh, this has been fully mitigated. Let me delete this anyways. We don't need that anymore. Let me delete that. The ORB, yeah, the 15-minute ORB is strong today. Anything else you guys want to look at while we're just waiting on, you know, price action to give us something here? Okay. Let's see where we're at on chain here for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's new pull. Let's see. Refresh this chart. It's been a while since I went on it. In a couple days. Didn't really create new lows though, so I don't really think it's that important to refresh. Yeah, relative to the current, yeah, 87.3K being the last updated level. Yeah, our Nuble's at 35.4 right now. Yeah, same level since 30K. Crazy. If Bitcoin gives people a second chance and we come down to these lows, again, like 84K, I think it'd be an incredible opportunity to prepare for a macro long. Like if I were to like controlled price action to do exactly what I want to do, like I would want it to take out this low right here at 80,000.6 because we have a proper 2 candle pullback here on the daily. So we get that lower, even if it's an SFP. SFPs, what they do is they evolve your strong low to your strong high or your strong low. And in this case right now, our strong high is way up here because that's the last time we had a proper daily pullback, right? You need a 2 candle consecutive pullback in order for it to be considered a proper one. So this is our current strong high, and we're not bullish on the daily until we break the strong high. But if we get an SFP, it evolves your strong high from here to here during that moment, and it becomes the target for the SFP. So that's what I'm kind of hopeful for. In a perfect world, we come down, sweep that low, hopefully get in on the daily SFP itself. If not, then off the daily change of character, and then for the daily to flip bullish during that moment instead of having to wait until we get way up here for it. Because we get a lot more trade participants, a lot more people being bullish if we had that scenario play out where we swept that low first. Because all the swing traders would just go crazy off of a move like that, you know, that actual daily change of character reaction. So I know a lot of people don't want to go lower, but if we just do it one more time, just one more time, we'd have a much better key level for longs, like macro longs. And like our 4 hours there too, like our 4 hours really high up. It's not as high as the daily, obviously, but our 4 hour level is here at 93.8. So get that low swept. We get a multi-time frame confluence with that neckline high for a potential double bottom. Yeah, that posture right now though is looking, I know like locally when you zoom in it looks a little bullish, but when you zoom out a little bit, it does look like we're trying to potentially build an ascending head and shoulders that could drive the price right back down into that value area. And my idea on this being a head and shoulders would pretty much invalidate if we close above this high or range a little bit too much. But the longer we range here, the more, you know, the healthier the market will be and the better the reset. Yeah, I could be doing a macro Wyckoff model 1 or 2. It's really incomplete right now, but spot holding on pump. We could do that. We could take a look at pump for. So you want a macro look on pump. The macro look didn't look great. So let's zoom out on the daily here. Oh, Binance went really low. Anyways, I'm going to turn off Argus for a second. I have it on twice, okay. So this wick, you're going to see this wick, you know, it hasn't been reclaimed yet on a majority of alts, right? Because of the pairing liquidity effect. It's going to, yeah, there's no way that alts won't have, you know, more steep pullback than Bitcoin during the flash crash like that. You could use fibs on this. That could be helpful. Like, for example, like if you pull a fib from the low of the wick to the body, and just get your regular Fibonacci tool ready here, you have what's called a lick wick, right? You could do this on any wick, but whether or not it gets honored as support or resistance, it's usually you would want to use a lick wick on a high time frame like this, the daily, so you can use low time frames to dissect the reaction off the golden pocket. So here we have our levels. It's kind of helpful if you have your extension set up to the right, so you can have your fib retracement tool kind of draw the line right to the price action. Make sure you're set to logarithmic. Now there is log mode right on the fibs too that you can alter, but I usually don't alter it when my price action's already synced to fibs here. But yeah, we have a slight front run to that order block. Looks like not order block, point of control. Golden pocket. To the golden pocket. Very slight front run to the golden pocket. We kind of almost tapped it perfectly there. So I'm not really convinced that this is the bottom for pump just yet. Like, we could come back down to these lows that we had before in the past. I did mark it just in case we sweep it and bounce. I know we already swept the area with this area, but sometimes this is still a point of interest where you can have trade participants react off of that sweep. But I consider it mitigated after that crazy fall. So if you're looking at the bigger picture, like right now, I do think that we could come down lower on this thing. We have supply right here in our face that we're just tapping for the first time. That might induce a pullback. Maybe we'll tap into that golden pocket and reverse from there. But our daily doesn't flip bullish until we break this high right here. Let's see. Yeah, it's just too young to tell, man. It's not one that I'd personally be touching. Yeah, right now, if you're looking for a spot hold, maybe just be patient. See if this results in a squeeze to bring the price back down. And it could be a good buy down at these lows right here. And start your DCA process maybe around this area. When I do a DCA, I usually like splitting things by 10. Like if you have like $1,000 that you plan on putting it into an asset and you're at extreme lows like this, you'd look for the pullbacks and like put in like $100 at a time at the key levels for accumulation. And what your average is after the fact, you could end up, you know, maybe adding to your position. If we get the daily change of character, like the final position would be like something like that. Tokenomics, so I don't know if it's getting inflated or not, but if it's getting inflated, then you won't be targeting the all-time high, in my opinion. Maybe 5 cents. There we go. Wish we need another 2 taps down. Yeah. If we do something like that, Wagner, that'd be awesome, because that kind of pan out with what we're used to seeing happen when we had this last low down here. We were here for like 50 days before we had the reversal warning. And down here, it was about 76 days building that one. You guess a good Model 3 or something. I think that's the one everyone prefers anyways, right? The Model 3 for trading. What's up, Danny? Or Dammy? How you doing? Let's pull up. It's here. Yeah, Bitcoin's in the supply now. It's fully mitigated. A 15-minute warp is holding us up. Man, the price actually just went to a screeching halt. Super slow. You check them, they last between a month and a half to 2 months. Yeah. Yeah, the last time we were scooping down at this Newport low too, it took a little while for us to come back up. This is a much more extreme than our last two pullbacks. Like this is telling us like a large amount of people that were holding in a profit have gotten out. Specifically, people holding in a profit. And not just people. If people were holding in a loss or sold at a loss and they got out, it would actually have a much less of an impact on the Newport chart. So because the conditions are basically the same of the last two big pullbacks that we had, we were legging up after we got to the all-time high. And we've fallen down to as low as like the 48 level, but percentage-wise, the falls have been the same. If we go to like the daily, and I were to pull up like, let's go to the daily structure here. I apologize for the noise, but if we pull the measurement tool from the high to the low, we fell in about 32%. From this high to this low, 36%. And then this pullback here from this high to this low, about 33%, right? So but between 33 and 36% were our pullbacks from these highs. Our new pull has fallen down to like the 48 level each time. But this one, we've fallen down much lower in the new pull, which is more bullish, by the way. Like that's not a bearish thing. That's a more of a bullish thing because it's telling us that like the people that you normally would compete with for profits are leaving the market instead of the people that are like holding at a loss. So yeah, I think if we come back up to these highs, we obviously have some barriers to worry about, but our Newport chart before it gets exhausted again, it's around 160k. If we were to anticipate like a rejection around the 0.6 level again on the Newport. So if we get to around 0.6 level, I think our price point will be around like 150 to 160k because of all the resets that we had occur on chain. We have the big barrier that I'll be watching though is around like 106, 107k area. Then after that, 111 is a big one too. We have the 200-day EMA kind of catching up to that supply zone. So, and the 50 is already close to the floor. So around here where 200-day EMA and here where 50-day EMA is, it's almost perfectly encasing that supply zone right now. So we gotta watch out for that long way up. I'll have this cleaned up before we get back up there. I just have all these levels marked to help us with our short-term scalping, but And that kind of does a big mess on the bigger time frame charts. And there is a way to have everything synced to a certain time frame, by the way. So like if you want to go over here, click on your settings for like your horizontal array or your trend lines, you can go to visibility and have it literally only sync to the time frame that you want to be synced with. So like if I only want this to be seen between the 1 minute and the 15 minute, I could do that just by doing something like this. See, now it's invisible, but if I switch to the 15 minute, then my value area high comes back. Just remember though, the system has a memory. So when you do that and you start doing it with your other tools, it will use a memory like the cookie system to do it to all your future changes. Or your future drawings, sorry. You know, Wagner saying, which could make it swing up right under that resistance around 98K before. Yeah, okay, so you have the same thoughts that I do. Yeah, it could be a higher time frame bear confirmation. That's why I'm kind of hoping for the sweep of the low first. So we're flip bullish. Just watch out for that giant supply that could induce a macro range or a stronger pullback. And we slowed right down as soon as we got to that supply. We just got a bearish SFP. Yep. We got this SFP right here, sweeping this high. 5 minute order block print. Technical target. Oh, it's pretty low. Never mind. So I'll be looking at this as a 3 minute. Yeah, 3 minute SFP. Just because the 5 minute bear target is way out of reach. The 3 minute target's in reach. Just be targeting this low. First time getting to tune into you due to time difference. Learning loads. Irish Kate, what's up? Yeah, you're welcome to ask any questions. We're basically just monitoring the market and preparing for a potential drop. Just mitigating the supply here to our left. We had some order blocks here as well. When we had this SFP sweep, we also swept this high in confluence with that and mitigated this 3 minute order block in confluence with that. So we have some decent confluence to hit our head here and come down at least to this low, but we don't know if we're going to go down further until we break this low. If we break this low, then we have the bearish change of character, and then we can get ourselves acceptance into this OR15. Watch the VWAP along the way, but hope that we get to the opposite side and break down to go down further. So I get the pathing. Yeah, SFP from here to here. And then change a character. I'll change the pathing for that. Yeah, the pathing for this could be a little bit more complicated. It bounce off the 3 minute order block, confluence with a VWAP, hit our head off of the neckline for a retest. I think come down towards these lows. Monitor the momentum. If we get the break of structure instead, then we have our answer. We're not getting the short. You switched accounts to like the stream twice. Thanks, man. We got Douglas in the house. Okay, I think this is worth posting to the community to make sure that they're aware of what we're planning. Let's see how we perform here. We get the candle close above this high. That brick structure. It could bring us up to the 88.2. If we turn on the VWAP multiplier, like 2.5 level is a really good level to watch. And that level is currently flush with this high that we could sweep. Now, if you're not familiar with the multiplier here, basically think of it as a form of confluence, right? It tells you like that deviation normally draws price to come back to retest the VWAP. So you can see here, when the VWAP resets, it's a lot smaller because the moving average resets during that moment. But yeah, here you got the deviation, test the deviation, hit the VWAP, test the deviation, hit the VWAP, test the deviation, hit the VWAP, and again and again. And every time we test it, we get pulled right back to the VWAP. So we could have that same kind of scenario occur here from this SFP, where we hit that VWAP deviation, SFP, scoop liquidity, aim for the technical target of the SFP first. If you get the change of character, then you can start targeting the VWAP. Now I got this big mess on my chart. There we go. Here we go. Oh, we got an unsustainable pump. So we'll see if we get the sweep. We get this fair value gap filled the moment we get the SFP. 20 seconds left. So we'll see if we get it. $12 seconds. 10, 9. I don't think so, guys. Yeah. 6, 5. At least not in the 3 minute. Wild move. Okay, 3 minute close. So we're not getting the 3 minute SFP. If you're an SFP trader, what you could do when you're starting in the low time frame is you slowly work your way up. And typically the higher the time frame the SFP, the better. But you gotta be doing this on key levels too. The only confluence that we currently have is the VWAP here. It'd be even better if we had a sweep from the high of the range. The absolute high of the range. Because that's where most liquidity is usually resting. It's the high of the ranges. So you can rotate to higher time frames. So if this one closed here as a break of structure, then you rotate to the 15 minute. The 15 minute low is so low though. A66. No profit pullback on 15. I took the two highs, so we can delete this. Coming into our supply, our core supply for the range. We delete this stuff now. We'll keep our 15-minute orb here, so we could use that as support along the way down. So we gotta watch that now as support. All right. All right, we just mitigated our 15-minute and a 30-minute order block. Let's go 30 just in case. Yeah, 30 we just mitigated. The order block was created by these two candles here, here, and then the red one that follows it right here. Getting a little FOMO. See, when I see giant green candles like this, I'm like, if I'm already in a trade and I see a big pump like that, I'm usually getting ready to FOMO out of my trade, because these moves are usually unsustainable. They create fair value gaps. If you get like a change of character close inside that fair value gap, we usually get a fast move to the opposite side. You gotta think about the order books and how they got cleared during a moment like that. All right, we invalidated SFPs up into the 30-minute time frame. So now it's just about waiting for structure. So we're not going to get the short off the SFPs. We just tapped the 30-minute order block in the supply zone. So now is the moment to prepare for the bearish structure. So we need a 2-candle pullback, either just below or within this area. We get that 2-candle pullback and then a higher high. We generate a strong low. And then when we break that strong low, we'd have a bearish change of character. If that happens just below or within this valley area, then it'd be a really good time to prepare for a short. We could have a flip scenario, which is this. This is called a flip. So a flip is like a front run, kind of like an SFP. It's a front run to a change of character. We had price action come up, a proper pullback, didn't generate a high, right? And when we don't generate a high and we close below that low, this is called a flip. And it can warn you, basically during a flip, you'd want to target the change of character, similar to an SFP where you target the key level for a break of structure or change of character. But if we get the break, then you have your continuation, right? Kind of like when I was doing this short here. I was doing it on the continuation. I didn't give enough breathing room for this stop loss guard though, but we managed to hit our target. I was basically stopped out by the cost of a Happy Meal. It's kind of frustrating, but it happens. So yeah, what we're waiting for is just that bearish change of character kind of posture here. Get that short. A flip is simply an internal break of structure. It's really nothing. Yeah. I know what you mean. I didn't expect it to be something new. It kind of gives me like change in the state of delivery vibes. Okay. Yes, it happens to me all the time. Yeah, this wouldn't have happened to me. This stop hit wouldn't have happened to me if I just used the strong, like the market structure rules on strong high for my stop loss guard. Cardano. How's Cardano doing? My alarm went off, sorry. Oh, I got the squeeze. at the value area high. Kind of an awkward spot to break to the upside, but yeah, still, we only tapped a little bit, but 25% into this supply zone here, so we could still see some resistance when we come back up to revisit this local highs. And with Bitcoin's positioning, you compare for a reversal well as well. There's a lot of pairing liquidity between Bitcoin and Cardano. Solana, it looks like we broke our downtrending momentum. Got the change character. We close above this wick here. Same kind of scenario. Prepare for resistance up here. Kind of give me that head and shoulders kind of vibe, or triple top vibes right now, depending on how we perform right here. And this supply zone was from, zoom out. Oh yeah, we had a lot of confluence there. Yeah, here we have that. The ceiling of the supply is a previous point of control. Got a decently strong volume node there. Just gotta watch out for that along the way up. We're currently inside that supply zone, so it could drive us right back down to the value area low. We do have some confluence at this VWAP for Solana with 30-minute order block. Almost being flush with the VWAP there. By the time price action returns to it, I believe the VWAP will be right at the ceiling of this 30-minute order block. And we just mitigated this 30-minute order block above us right here. So same kind of situation. And we did have that inverse head and shoulders off the value area low. Break, change of character. It's driving us up to these highs. But yeah, at these highs, I'll be preparing for us to turn around. We have a good wick level up here we can watch for a sweep at 140.68. Solana loves doing SFP, so, and we're at the extreme highs or extreme lows. Those are the best places to prepare for SFPs. Yeah, so 140.68. Prepare for a potential sweep here. Yeah, Bitcoin's on the top side of that supply now. Let's see if we turn around. Let's check out the chat. The entire pump is dry. And it's pretty illiquid. We have really big fair value gap right here on the 5-minute. We have a $500 gap. Yeah, it's one of those pumps like where if you're not already in a trade, you shouldn't be jumping into a new one. That's our, yeah, we're past the VWAP multiplier. They have 3. Cumulative volume delta at top, slowly turning red. Or the 80 level on the RSI on the 5. 78 on the 15. Yeah, we're just lacking structure, guys. I wouldn't limit this one, that's for sure. And we're really close to that previous value area low. Right, so if we get acceptance into that, we could see a rotation up to that point of control at 91K. So, yeah, we got to be cautious. You got to make sure you wait for that structure, you know, giving you evidence of resistance first before taking any shorts. Because we could easily continue up. We're bullish already on the hourly. We haven't flipped bearish. It could be what front runs the 4-hour change character. Way up here at the top of this value area high. Alright guys, well I'm going to go. I'm going to jump. Oh yeah, I'll give you guys the signal for a short. If I jump in a short, I'll likely be jumping into the live trading channel inside the Discord while I clean up some of my charts and do some altcoin posts. But yeah, I have a call today at 3:30 as well with the community. We're working on our back testing on asset, like we're building our own SFP strategy, building rules around each SFP, what ways we could increase the win rate, what's the probability of success, all that stuff. So hopefully you'll see you guys there. We do have a promotion still going on until the 1st of December for 50% off for life. So whether you choose the yearly plan or the monthly plan, you can get 50% off any of the plans that we have for life. And it's the biggest discount we've ever done. So we're thinking about joining. It'd be right now probably be the best time to do it. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next live. We do a live on Friday, and on Friday we're doing a giveaway for another $6,000 account. Like I say every time, reach out to me if you need help with anything inside the Discord. I'm like one message away. Be careful of any impersonators that might message you first. I will not message you first. So please be careful. There's impersonators constantly trying to take money from people. So whether it be in my Discord or any Discord, there's always an impersonator somewhere. All right, guys, you have a great day. Appreciate everyone who's been liking, subscribing, sharing. You have yourself an amazing day. Is market structure still strong? 3-3. What? Yes, market structure is still strong right now. MF still strong. Money flow. Yeah, money flow is still strong. Sorry about that. All right, guys, you have a great day. Reach out.